I want to say stuff that I want to say for the podcast. We're supposed to be recording right now that we haven't started. So I guess we just start it?
Yeah, we started. We could start.
All right, let's just start it. Okay, so it's the movie Propcast. I'm Justin here with Tyler. We're back and it's Valentine's Day. Grab your lovers and hold them closely.
And listen to this episode with them, but on 2 devices, so we get double the views.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Genius. You're a marketing genius. So don't give, like in like middle school, you'd be like, or high school, you'd be like, here, have an earbud. You'd be listening to the same thing. It's cute. Don't. Put them both on your head. Give them another device to listen to it on so we can get double the listens, double the downloads. You're a good marketer, a good man.
I got a brain sometimes.
No, that's it. I'm sure everyone who's listening is very happy that we're telling them to just spam up our views and downloads. But no, listen, if you're listening to this right now, we obviously appreciate you guys a lot. And maybe you're not listening on Valentine's Day. Maybe I hope you had a great Valentine's Day and or are currently having a great Valentine's Day. I guess if you're listening to this, you're either at work or on your way to work, and you're not actually. I would imagine you're probably not out on a date right now.
Hopefully not.
Or else it's going pretty bad right now. If we're the ones you're leaning on, but again, it feels good to know that. I mean, we end every podcast saying that we love you. So I mean, like,
we're gonna end this one with it. Yeah, we're gonna end this one saying I love you.
Not just love. Crazy, stupid love. Whoa,
good
tie-in. Segue. Yeah, thanks. That's obviously what you're listening to. We have watched it. Our retinas have touched the whole length of this film, which is what people say. That's a
no, it's
thing.
It's not. It's not. Please,
Pretty
why?
sure. I don't know. We'll see. This is one of my all-time favorites. I guess I have to say rom-coms, romantic comedies.
Yeah.
I guess I have to preface that because I do honestly though, like when I really think about it, this doesn't come up when people say what are your favorite movies, but it really should because I just think it's so well done. I think again, like we're gonna get into it deep, but just right now, my quick review of this movie is when I watched it the first time, I was like, whoa, that was a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff was going on, and it was beautiful, and the way it was tied together, and the way it actually felt real was good. But I love this film.
So, like, I talk a lot about things that I love in movies, and something we haven't explored yet that I love is movies with parallel plot lines, like plot A, plot B. Like Pulp Fiction, one of my top favorite movies. You have like multiple stories going at once.
Right.
Not that this movie is Pulp Fiction, but you have
some would say better.
Okay.
All right. Wait.
Yeah, but you have your plot A, you have your plot B, you have your plot C, and then when they culminate, that is probably one of the best in this movie's like the best
payoff.
The payoff is incredible. Yeah.
Jinx. And I will say the first time I watched this movie, and that's what makes this so good. I don't remember any of the trailers of this film. I think it was 2011. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the trailers. I don't remember the lead up. I just watched the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they gave anything away. I'd have to go back and see if it was given away. I hope it wasn't given away in the trailers. Yeah. But to be just that surprised that everything tied together, that payoff was so good that that's what really bumps this movie up to like top tier for me, especially romantic comedies. It's one of my favorites of all time. If I saw the trailer and it was given away and I went to watch this, it would not feel the same.
No,
I think it's still it would be a really good movie. But that twist got me. Like the first time I watched it, it actually got me.
This movie is great to see, like with no like I was trying to avoid seeing it blind, but this is a great movie to see with no information whatsoever, just completely blank slate. It's so good.
Yeah. So to be fair, I kind of wish we could see almost all movies without a really like a trailer that gives it all away. Like trailers that give it all away are really. It's like a what is it? You're the guy. Is epidemic, pandemic? It's not a pandemic. We've already went through one of those. There's too much going on with that.
Yeah,
they're doing it too much.
There's way too many. Like I was so excited recently. The Super Bowl just happened. So excited to see the Flash trailer, but already wish that I had just seen it without seeing it because I would have absolutely lost my mind.
Yes, and I know why you're doing that. Then we're on another tangent, and if you haven't seen this, you can go check it out. But it's probably all over the place. That particular movie, I think they have to market it loudly in the way that they did
Otherwise, yeah.
to get people to be like, no, we're still kind of here. Like that's a pivotal movie for the
Yes.
future of whatever like James Gunn is doing with the DC universe. Even if all that gets scrapped, that's the movie that's scrapping it. So it's like a self-sabotage film. So again, we're on another planet here. But that I see what you're saying. Trailers are disgusting. They really should just be. I mean, they do teasers. They do teaser trailers. They do trailer
Teaser number
1.
1. Yep.
Yeah, teaser 1, teaser 2, trailer 2, 1, 2, and I'm like, just stop, please. You can piece it all together, and that's half the film. I don't like it. But again, that just ties it together. Like the effectiveness of a movie when you go in blind and you're just watching it and enjoying it for what it is without having like, oh, where is that scene gonna come in? Or like, oh, wait, he's wearing the thing from the trailer. Something's about to happen. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just love this film so much. And obviously the cast, we haven't even gotten into. Stupid star-studded cast.
Like absolutely on fire cast.
Real quick before we get into it, obviously Steve Carell plays Cal in this film. I realized when I'm going on IMDb, usually they do first and last names. All the main characters don't have last names.
On IMDb?
No last names. Yeah, they never. Did they ever mention?
Yeah.
Oh, they do actually yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
For some reason on IMDb, they really just omitted it. They don't even say last names on IMDb. That's like a weird thing to me for some reason because we always go to IMDb to go down obviously the cast. But Steve Carell, star of the film, plays it perfectly. Obviously, but that's mainly because when we looked up a little tidbit of this film, when they were writing this film, it was based on life experiences of the writer, and the writer had Steve Carell in mind to be the guy. And eventually he wound up seeing it. It came across his desk. He said, "Oh, I'm in," and that was that. And then from there, it just snowballed. We got Ryan Gosling as Jacob, Julianne Moore as Emily, Emma Stone, which is, by the way, 2011. I may or may not had ever. I think a lot of people.
I wanted to marry her.
Yeah, Emma Stone. Everybody who saw Emma Stone for the first time was like, "This is the one, guys."
So like Emma Stone, this is leaps and bounds from Emma Stone in Superbad. We did Superbad.
Yeah.
Like seeing Emma Stone in this versus Emma Stone in Superbad, she is out of her shell. She's just a star at this point. And she's just amazing. Like I fell in love watching this movie again, just seeing her.
I think I realize now why they did this in IMDb. Because of the twist. They don't want to say any of those characters' names. If you're just casually looking at the cast, you're not going to see that Hannah, Emma Stone's character, also has the same last name as everybody else. Because of that twist. I think that's okay. Now I get it, and I respect IMDb even more that they did that to just kind of hide the twist. Obviously, there's other people. I don't know the Jessica and Robbie. Obviously, the babysitter's Jessica. Robbie's the son. Mm-hmm. Marissa Tomei just as the teacher.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, and I would. I'm not gonna say crazy. Like that whole scene with her. Well, obviously, we're gonna get into that and just. The bar and the atmosphere of that and the idea of picking up women after the vibe of this movie completely shifts. We open up the film and there's literally like, I want a divorce. And then that's it. That's how the tone has been set. And that whole thing happens. That car ride home, very uncomfortable. Everything that happens leading up to it.
I was trying to think like, I mean, it's all right. Just a couple others who are stars now but were not stars then, and they had small roles. Joey King is the youngest daughter. She's like a big rom-com on Netflix. She's like big on Netflix right now. Joey King is.
She looked familiar.
Yeah.
When I saw her, I was like, who's that girl?
She's she's done The Kissing Booth. I watched all 3 of them. Don't judge me. But those will be our other Valentine's Day movies. But yeah, she's someone, and then just Crystal Reed was on Teen Wolf, and that's really it.
Which I had a huge crush on her too, because I watched Teen Wolf and I was like, she's kind of cute.
I didn't know she was in this.
Yeah, well, it's a very short scene. She's just one of the girls that's trying to get picked up. But Kevin Bacon can't not mention Kevin Bacon.
I forgot. Yeah,
David Lindhagen, and even Josh Groban. Josh Groban is Richard, Emma Stone's boyfriend. You never really know how long they were together, but the fact that Emma Stone, he's a weird dude. He was super weird, like very uncomfortable. Like
I couldn't even tell they were
how do you
dating.
love that guy? Yeah,
no.
How do you even love that guy? I don't know. He's weird. That was the whole dynamic was weird, but
yeah.
Yeah, Josh Groban out of nowhere. I was like, I didn't even know he was doing a lot of acting at that time, but he's since done a few more roles. But he was pretty good for being
He was
that weirdo
hateable.
that just. Oh yeah, and that's what his role was. Richard was just a weird guy, but I love that the friend. I forget what her name was in this film. I can't even see her. Oh, Liz, her Emma Stone's friend in
Yes.
this movie, Hannah's friend Liz, was awesome, by the way. And just every scene that was they were in together, she was hilarious, and she's just like outwardly and openly crapping on her boyfriend, Richard.
She I wish Liz got more screen time. She's one of those characters that like the 3 seconds she's on camera steals it. She was
Yeah,
hilarious. I loved it.
yeah, she was a good time. But that I guess also set the mood because you got to know like if your friend disapproves of who you're with, it's like already already know it's like kind of on rocks. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't. It's weird. So I don't know that whole situation with Emma Stone where she's expecting something, which leads to another thing. It all snowballs. But like you said, these I'm not gonna call them timelines, but these everybody's on their own little path.
Yeah.
And when it crashes together, it's amazing. And I just think that's what really put it over top. And now I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. Because again, I don't want to get into too much as far as the prop cast and the movie props in this film. When the draft comes up, there's not a whole lot to go off of.
No.
We obviously picked this movie because it's one of our favorites, and it's Valentine's Day, and it's a rom com. But like we said, what's different about this one that separates it from the stereotypical like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Don't attack
romantic
Freddie.
comedies. I'm not attacking them, but I'm just saying like there was a genre,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there was like a niche, and that they all kind of did the same story. This one was obviously a little more adult,
Yeah.
like a little more mature. They're older. They've already done you know what I mean. They've been married forever. So it hits a lot of people differently, and it obviously goes to another audience. But I feel like there's enough in this movie, especially with Ryan Gosling's character Jacob, that it
So
does kind of
good.
tick all the boxes
Yes.
for everybody at some point in this film. So
I gotta say, I made a note. The opening scene with Jacob, whatever his swagger is, I need that in liquid form in a bottle because that was absolutely incredible. His confidence that, and this wasn't even like the misogynism part, like, because I would never do that, but just his ability to just straight up hold that conversation. And like the part where I think he asked Emma, he asked Hannah, "Are you attracted to me?" And her friend says yes, and he looks at the Liz and he's like, "She is, right?" And then like
yeah,
just that, like him not being a jerk, just his ability to say those things straight faced and actually just believe it was just mind blowing. Like Ryan Gosling was out of his mind in this
right,
movie.
for sure. When obviously watching this as a young man, I was like, wow, that's I was what 20 at the time, so I was like, man, that's. I would aspire to be again, like you said. I'm not like I never wanted to be like a womanizer, but just to
Yeah,
be able to walk up to somebody and be like, "Hey, what's up?" That's insane
that
to me.
was
Especially
yeah,
at the time, I was like, "How do you even fathom that?" Like, I don't know.
yeah,
It's fascinating. But I would honestly love to see. I would have loved to see some flashbacks. But I mean, obviously, that's this whole shtick is he doesn't ever tell anybody about him.
yeah,
That's his. So in those montages, you were never going to learn anything about him when he's going through all those women and just talking. And he's like, "You want to get out of here? You want to get out of here? You want to get out of
yeah,
here?" Over and over again. And that was shot beautifully, by the way, where it's like it's moving around the club
yeah,
and it's just him in different areas. And you
yeah,
don't like it's a time lapse, but you're like, how much has passed? Like it's
yeah.
insane. But that was another thing. It was like when he's first on the screen, like you said, he's like a I don't know. I don't want to say he's like a mafia boss, but the way he
I don't know what his
talks and was
accent
like,
was.
I
I
don't know
don't
what it
know what
was
that
either.
was.
But when he's out there just slapping Steve Carell up and like Cal, we'll call him Cal because I don't want to
Yeah,
keep saying Steve Carell. But when he's slapping Cal up and he's just like, no, we're not doing this. We're doing this. This is how it is. And he has no choice because he's obviously he's a pushover at this point, and he's just
yeah,
like, yeah, okay, we're doing it, whatever. But he's like hates every second of it. I love that whole dynamic, that scene where they're trying to make him. I guess change his image. That Steve
yes,
Carell makeover was something else. And honestly, every time I watch it, I'm like, he's kind of right. Like I'm looking at my closet and I'm like, I mean, I might
Yeah.
need to get some new stuff. Like it's,
The scene where he pulls out his Velcro wallet
oh yeah.
and Jacob looks completely repulsed, like he takes the credit card and he's
Yeah.
like that meme picture. Oh my god, I almost lost it.
Yeah,
It
there's a
was
lot of
too good.
scenes where he's just like not crapping on him, but he's like trying to just be
He's crapping on him.
straightforward. Yeah, I mean he's just being straightforward. He's telling it
Yeah,
like it is. No, but
please
he's trying
stop.
to come
Please.
on.
No.
No, that dynamic is so great. And again, that's another relationship that when it all culminates, you know what they know, and it makes that end game just so much better because it's like you've been along with the ride, you've got backstory on everybody, and when that all crescendos, I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't know why I'm pushing it to the end. That scene, and if you've seen this movie, you've obviously listened to the podcast, you know what I'm talking about. That scene where there is a back and forth with obviously Cal and Emily, where it's like they're almost gonna do like they're almost they know they still love each other. They're talking, and then something happens, and it crumbles again. And then they're talking again, and they're like they want to call each other up, and then it crumbles again. And
Yeah.
then finally he feels like it's time, and he goes and he does the one big grand gesture in the backyard where he makes a little putt-putt course and starts reciting everything. And then Jacob walks in. Well, first off, when Hannah walks in, that's when initially the first time you watch the movie, you're like, oh damn.
You're like, why is this? Yeah, why?
Yeah, that's insane. And then Jacob comes falling in afterwards, and then you're like, okay, everybody's crap is hitting the fan. On top of the babysitter's dad who comes in and starts a fight, and then freaking Kevin Bacon, David Lindhagen, is just slithering around the yard, and he's like,
Yes.
hey, I got you a sweater.
Yep.
Oh my god, that scene was so great. It
So
was chaos, but it was so worth it.
They had two hidden things. Because I don't think they showed the entire movie that the babysitter's the daughter of his friend. Do they? They keep that a secret too.
What do you mean? The daughter of whose friend?
His
Oh,
babysitter.
true. That
It-
yeah, that is. That
so
was
you don't know that until the mom finds the naked photos and then takes it to the husband, and you're like, oh, at least I don't remember seeing earlier on. They might have like said the last names and then I completely forgot.
right. That was that
But-
one didn't obviously wasn't like a big like I barely even registered. The guy who plays the dad, Bernie, his name's John Carroll Lynch. That is the ultimate guy. That guy from That Thing guy.
Oh, 100%.
He's that guy from That Thing. Like
Yeah.
you see his face and you're like, oh, he's yeah, I see that guy a lot. And I don't know his name, and I'm looking at it right now. It's John Carroll Lynch. Maybe
You will
when
forget
next
it
time
when yeah.
I
you're
know,
gonna forget
I know.
it when it's done.
I said maybe next time I see him. Like he's probably, you know what I mean? We keep tabs on how many actors we've done their movies.
Yeah.
We probably every movie this guy's probably been in. We don't even know. Like we wouldn't even know. He's probably high on the list. I don't know. It's just something about that guy. But yeah, that whole scene where it all culminates, I can't get enough of it. The only thing that was lacking that also did get a payoff, and if you're watching right now on our YouTube channel, you can see Tyler's background. The Marissa Tomei, Kate, the teacher of the son, that was the
Yes.
payoff for that. But she would have had no reason to show up at that thing. That would have really just been over the top. But
Yeah.
she got her payoff at that moment at the teacher conference.
So okay. I'm jumping to the beginning real quick because the entire movie, I don't know how you do with these kind of movies, but I'm very empathetic and I put myself in the roles of characters just because.
Yeah.
That opening car ride where
Oof.
Cal, yes. So Cal's wife Emily says, I want a divorce. And you're like, okay, this can't possibly get any worse. Then they're in a quiet car ride. And then she's like, I slept with a coworker. And then you're like, okay, this can't possibly get any worse.
Yeah.
And then she just keeps going on and on until Cal jumps out of the car. Then
I don't blame him.
I don't
I don't blame him for tucking and rolling.
Not at all. I jump out of the car too, 100%. But then you flash forward to this parent-teacher night, and Emily finds out that Cal's been on multiple dates, and Cal ultimately slept with his son's teacher
Right.
unknowingly.
Right. he
But
didn't know.
then it flips to Cal being the bad guy, and I'm still kind of on Cal's side at this side. He does admit to sleeping with 9 women, and it's hard. So then at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm not really on Cal's side anymore.
Right.
I'm
That's what I'm
50-50.
saying. Like,
yeah,
like I could understand. I can understand. I mean, I don't know. This whole situation, obviously, Cal's trying to play it off,
Yes.
and Kate, the teacher, is not playing it off. She's definitely
No,
not playing it off.
not at all. There's
Uh,
no discretion. She is out for blood.
so I would say in that moment in the classroom, I thought Emily handled it pretty well. Like
Yes.
I thought she handled it pretty well because she was just like, oh, okay, there's something. They're not talking about the kid anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's some. She's still playing along with it. I think she would have understood if it was just her and been like,
Yes.
okay, yeah, obviously you've been on dates, like it's crazy. But if you love somebody still, you know what I mean? Obviously, I think she still loved, like she wanted to fight, and she wanted there to be some passion and everything, and that there just wasn't getting it. The fact that he tucked and rolled from that car was telling that he was just kind of giving up, and he says it. Obviously, he references that later in the film towards the end. I get her being upset, and like you said,
Yeah.
you get it as well. But like if she still loves him, and if she finds out that he's just going around being a slut, 9 women in like what? I mean, a few months. Like
Yeah.
that's maybe I don't even know how. Like there's no real way to know how long it was, but yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
I'd
that would
say a
still
few months.
hurt. That would
Oh,
definitely hurt.
100%. And what he did was excessive. It just shifted so fast to him being the jerk that I was a little uncomfortable until later on when he legitimately starts being a jerk, which he does.
Yeah.
So it was I was on his team for a while, and then he lost me along the way.
Were you ever on Team David Lindhagen?
No, that guy could get hit by a car.
See,
I
that's
am
rude though. He's actually kind of a nice guy, minus the the adultery.
breaking up a marriage. Yeah, breaking up
Yeah,
a
the
marriage.
home wrecking.
Like
That's it.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm very surprised there wasn't a scene where Robbie just punched him in the face. I thought that's where it was going in the
Yeah. Well, the
when they
scene they
first meet
got,
in the office.
the scene they got in the office was pretty good.
Yeah,
That was really all they needed to do to be like, I'm the son. I don't like you.
yeah,
Period. You know.
done. That's
And
it.
that honestly it should have been enough to discourage him, but I feel like there's a little untold. It's Kevin Bacon, man. You got him in there. He's got a role. The fact that he persevered through that and was still like, no, I kind of like her. Like there's a story where he's the main character and he's the good guy. You know what I mean? Like
There is there is. Like if we
yeah.
think hard enough, there is a movie where a guy is chasing after a married woman and ends up getting her. There is. I just not off the top of my head.
I'm not
but
saying
there's.
he's the winner in this film, but I'm just saying like it's tough
Yeah.
he was never really a jerk though.
No, he wasn't.
So
No. He wasn't malicious about it whatsoever. He didn't like give a snide wink to the son like, yeah, I broke up
yeah,
your parents. Like there
which
was none of that.
honestly would happen in most
Yeah.
movies.
Yes,
But
100%.
it's like you always feel compelled to just not destroy, but like spin the bad guy as the bad guy, make it very obvious. And
Yeah.
there was I don't know. I just feel like we never got that with Lindhagen, other than him just being crapped on by everybody else. He was like the punching bag by everybody, like quite literally.
Yeah, literally, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Hannah and Jacob, I like that dynamic a lot because Hannah doesn't talk to Jacob for like the entire middle portion of this movie. Like zero
Yeah.
interaction. And then she has that awkward graduation thing. And her gut reflex is like that one guy at that one place, I'm going there.
She
And
was
then
thinking about him the whole time. Like
she had to have
obviously
been.
yeah. I mean, listen, if Ryan Gosling came up to me and was like, "Yeah, you're a good-looking dude," I would remember that my entire life. I'd be like,
Yes.
"My God, thank you, sir."
Especially if you're sitting next to me and he's like, your friend's good looking too, but you're incredible. Like that's
Right.
essentially what happened. And
Yeah.
he didn't try to take home the friend either. He went along on his business. He forgot about her because he's like, there's no chance. She clearly did not forget about him. And that led to one of like my favorite scenes in the movie, which was just her walking in the rain back to the freaking bar
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
taking him home, which was
That was
absolutely
beautiful. Which is
absurd.
not
Yeah.
obviously it breaks his like monotony of like his routine.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, what's going on with this one? Like, and it actually, obviously, that scene where they're hanging out at his house, going through this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, just he
That-
actually, as soon as he asked her to, you know what I mean? Like, he was
Yeah.
already giving information about himself a little bit, but when he asked her to be like, ask me something about myself, that was like, boom, it's over. He's
Done.
like, that's game over. And
Even-
like you said, Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, I'm saying actors alone,
Yeah.
their chemistry's off the charts. And
Absurd.
They're also in La La Land. I just want to
Yeah,
mention that La La
and they
Land's a good movie too. So
win Oscars, or at least she
yeah,
wins an Oscar for that. I don't know
yeah,
if he did.
that's good. We need more Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling movies.
Yeah, I think every movie from now on should just be the two of them in different parts.
Yes, every single movie, 100%.
Well, no, I mean every movie of theirs.
Every
Like,
Marvel, every DC movie.
no,
Yeah, put
no.
them like throw 'em in.
Why is that the first thing that came to my mind too?
I was just trying
no,
to figure out movies that would be ridiculous to have them star in. Not that it's ridiculous, but like that would
every
be
movie
the
that
weirdest.
one of them is in, the other needs to be a part of as well, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree with that. We should sign a petition.
But
Well, we can
no,
start a petition. You can start a petition for anything. I mean, I'm about to just do it.
even before Jacob asks her to ask him a question, like the scene where they're about to what did she say? Bang? Is that
Oh yeah, we're
yeah.
gonna bang. And he's like,
Yeah.
do people say that? People still
Yeah.
say bang? That's a thing?
Even the scene like then where they're just laughing and giggling in bed and they can't like get past all the ridiculous stuff he's bought. I had the biggest smile on my face because it just felt so genuine. Like you said, their chemistry was ridiculous. Like I felt like they were just two people just truly enjoying themselves.
Right. And if you ever have loved somebody, you know what I mean? Or you gone through that part, you know what I mean? Like and they have a good relationship. You can relate to pretty much anything that's happened in this film, aside from the divorce, hopefully. But it just feels like that was a real relationship and it was actually growing. And that was the hard part, is because, and it's the same thing that happened with Cal at the end, where he was like, to Jacob, I'll never approve of this because he knows too much. And I don't blame him. Like, I don't blame him at all. Like, I felt bad. And I know, I think even the first time I watched it, I was like, come on, dude, throw him a bone. Because obviously you're rooting for Jacob because you can tell he's changed and he's found something and it's good for him.
Yeah.
But now I have a kid and I'm like, bro, I don't blame him. I was like, I'd be the same day. That's crazy.
I don't blame him, but if he could see even a glimpse of what we saw that night, I feel like he kind of changed his mind a little bit.
Well, really, all he has to hear from his daughter is, I know. Like, she knows that she went into the club to go to the club hopping guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she knows about that, and they had a good night, and like there's something there. So that's really like that would have squashed, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously ultimately concerned for his daughter. If he was withholding that information and that was a dynamic and she didn't know, then it would have been a different thing where like Cal's like, I know what you did. Are you telling her? And he's like, yeah. Like that's a different story. That's not what happened, obviously. But then I would understand. I'd be like, yeah, that's weird. But no, everything was out in the open. And I think that's what's cool about this movie is like at any point, everybody was pretty open and honest, aside from Steve Carell, Cal, in that scene behind you, in the teacher conference where he was like trying to hide everything. But
I will say I do have one more gripe. The graduation in the gymnasium.
Oh man,
who in their right mind is one letting Robbie continue his speech and then letting Cal get up and then give a speech at a kid's 8th grade graduation?
That's the part I felt weird about, right? Like I wrote it down too, and I was like, turning an 8th grade graduation speech into a love is bad speech.
Who's letting
feels
that
a little forced, right? It feels a
Yeah.
little forced. That's like a writer, like I need a culmination of something. What event can we do? 8th graders have graduations, right? Like they needed to be something else. Like it needed to be like a gala or something like, you know, I don't know, some sort of other thing than an 8th grade graduation. Because parents are probably in the crowd like, dude, come on.
Yes.
Like wrap it up. Like I don't know.
And those were not short speeches. They were both like who's sitting through that? The principal is cutting that immediately.
I think the only thing that kept it going a little bit when Cal stepped up was that he was kind of like aware and he was like, yeah, that's weird. This is my son. Yeah, he's just, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of sit through that. But when he starts going, you know, I found true love once. You know what I mean? And I don't care.
Yeah,
I want to see little Tony walk across the stage and get his sticker. Like,
why
can we
is
just
everyone
go?
Italian to you?
I want to go, little Tony. We got to go to pizza. No, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's an 8th grade graduation. It's not even like I'm not saying it's not significant, but I mean, like, it's kind of insignificant in the grand
It's
scheme of
just
things.
the wrong place at the wrong time for that kind of situation.
But because of the story, though, because of plot, it had to be then.
How good was Cal at making you cringe in this movie?
That's Steve Carell, dude. That's like his whole shtick.
I legitimately paused the movie on 3 separate occasions because I had secondhand embarrassment.
Yes.
I had to pause it.
Sometimes he just wouldn't shut up. Yeah, it's just he's a very weird dude. But again, that's probably why he had Steve Carell in mind when they were writing this film. They're like, yeah, he's the guy that would deliver all this in a way that makes him likable and just weird at the same time, but not like creepy weird, but just a goofball. But like, you know what I mean? Like the fact
Yeah.
that that's a very hard person to cast, because like if you get a beautiful actor, like a Hollywood actor, they're not gonna
Yeah.
get the weird, goofy, like awkward stuff.
Yeah, you're not putting Kevin Costner in that role.
Oh no, that's weird. Yeah, that's a good one. But on the other side, you're not gonna put like, I don't know. I was gonna pick somebody like Jack Black.
I
Like,
was
you know what
gonna
I mean?
say,
He's not gonna be able to get like the
I was gonna say
suave
Rick
man role.
Moranis.
Rick Moranis. Okay, that's a deep cut. Yeah, he kind of was out acting for a while. But I'm saying like Jack Black, right?
Yeah.
Who's been in a rom-com, that a few of them that have been a little over the top, but that's Jack Black. But I'm just trying to imagine anybody else in this role than Steve Carell. Like there's not a lot of, that's a very narrow hoop to jump through, and he's the guy.
Jason Sudeikis?
Yes. I would allow that. Oh, yeah. He's still sometimes a little cooler than you'd like.
Yeah.
I think he kind of plays. Yeah. That's a close one. I'd say that's a close one.
It is.
But yeah.
No, Steve Carell is absolutely perfect. I'm just throwing out ideas for.
No, that was a good
possible-
one. That's a good one. Especially with the recent success and him all dappered up in that. Why am I not remembering that? What is the name of that?
Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso. That's it. Yeah. I remember the character's name. I was like, the show's Ted Lasso? The show is Ted Lasso.
I genuinely thought you were going to say recent affair, but never mind. Let's not.
Oh, well, no, I wasn't saying any of that. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. I don't know when you want to get in this draft, but there's a couple more things I want to touch on real quick. The club scene, the scenes in general, the club that they're hanging out at. I don't understand. This has never been my life, so I've never really done this or understood how this happens. But to just go to a club and pick up women, I would think you wouldn't be able to go there every single night. Like, what is
especially with him telling Cal, hey, everyone here knows that your wife cheated on you because you keep talking about it night after night. So night after night, every woman should know that he's been there picking up women night after night, unless they're
unless they're doing it on purpose, though.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can see
he's
that.
the rich guy picking up a woman every night he goes there. He has to have a reputation.
Yeah, so then that's probably the understanding is, let's go to that club tonight and see if you get picked up. Like that's okay. I could see that, but it does seem really weird that you'd fish in the same pond every night forever.
I mean, if the fish keep biting, when do you stop?
Dang. Oh, okay. All right. That was okay. That was real. There was something. Okay, I have a question for you. At what age did you stop having a babysitter?
I never had one.
Never had one. I guess if you have older siblings, right? Then that's probably.
So I did have older siblings. My sister babysat me until she went away to college. So I guess even then when she was in school, I guess like 11 or 12, I was on my own pretty much.
That same thing with like my sister and I, like I just don't remember like needing a babysitter. This kid's 13, which by the way, at one point he calls him 15. I had it written down as 13.
Does?
Yeah, I had it written down at 13. And at some point Cal says, when he's talking to Emily, because he got some good advice from him or something like that, and he says a quote from his son to Emily, and he's like, "That's from my 15-year-old son." And then at the end, he says he's 13 again. So I'm like, I don't know if that was just like a continuity error or something, because I wrote it down as 13, and then he says 15, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's 15. I crossed out 13 and said 15, and at the end, Robbie actually says he's 13, period. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And a 15-year-old 8th grader would be kind of weird.
That'd be crazy. But yeah, he also says he's 4 years younger than Jessica, and
17.
she's
Which also, I don't want to get into it, but that's a minor. Just like that's a minor. Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to say that, throw that out there for the universe. That was weird. By the way, when she's in this movie, that actor is older than us. She's like 34, 35 right now.
I thought you meant while in the role. I was like, sir.
No,
Okay,
us right
yeah,
now? No. Oh my God.
yeah.
She'd be, yeah. Well, yeah, this is 12 years ago. That's crazy that this movie's 12 years old. It still holds up, I think. I
So
don't think
she's
there's,
20 something. She's 22 in
she
that
was in her
role.
20s for this movie, for sure. Yeah.
She legitimately they de-aged her very well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
She
They gave her like the high school teenager, like distressed, like grease. I'm not gonna say grease, but you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
don't
Like
no,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
How
Not
do you
using the
dig
skincare.
holes like this?
They busted her face up real good for this movie.
Oh my
No, I gotta
god.
stop. I gotta stop talking. But no, okay. I just wanted to say all that. I was curious. I didn't really understand the babysitter thing. That was one thing I wanted to mention. I just didn't think that was that was it. I think that's it. That's
She
really all I
she
got.
could have gotten Cal arrested.
Oh yeah,
Like
and
if
yeah,
if the dad, when the police are there, just said like my 17-year-old daughter sent him nudes, boom,
yeah.
Cal's arrested. Done.
Well, yeah. Luckily, no one had a smartphone in this movie, which is the one thing that dates it. Obviously, that's always going to date a film, but when it's a flip phone, a BlackBerry, dated. Movie's
Yeah.
dated. The slide keyboard, like
Yes.
I do kind of miss those phones though.
I mean, this is a conversation for another time. I have a bag in here with every cell phone I've ever owned except for like the two I traded in.
Mm.
But every cell phone I've had from 2004 up, yeah, 2004 till now, I have.
Tell me you had a sidekick.
No, I did not.
Oh,
Those
okay,
are
all
for like
right.
rich people. That was what
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they like gave those away on like MTV when you won a
To
challenge
me,
or something.
Motorola Razors were for rich people. That
I
was that was a rich person's phone.
I had a razor. No, I didn't have a razor. My parents had the chocolate. Do you remember the
Oh,
chocolate?
yeah,
It
yeah. The
was like,
LG chocolate. Is
yeah.
that what? Yeah, yeah. I think I actually had one of those, but it was a hand me down. Like I got my parents' hand me downs. Like they would be like,
Mhm.
upgrade ready. Here, you could have mine. I'm
Yeah.
like, thank you. Like I was so grateful. Nowadays, kids get freaking iPhone 13 not pros, and they're
Yeah.
like, this is disgusting. Throw it
Yeah.
back. Oh
Okay,
man.
grandpa.
Back in my day, we had a cellular device and we liked it. We had to flip it open.
But yes,
Yeah.
razors were for the rich people. I do remember that.
Uh, that's all I got. Other than the Jacob comment, where he's like I said, when he was asked he asked Hannah to ask him about himself. When he finally gets into his parents, that's the payoff. Which it actually took. My wife and I were just talking. Chris and I were just talking when the movie was on. That's the payoff of the beginning of the film. Well, not the beginning of the film, but the first time you see Jacob and Cal talk.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe I don't know if he said, what is the line again? Maybe I
He's
recognize something, or maybe I
he
see
said you
something.
remind me
You,
you remind me of someone.
that's it. He reminds him of his dad. I thought it
Yeah.
was him. I thought there was like a past of what's his name? I just lost it again. What's going on?
Cal?
Jacob.
Oh,
No, Jacob.
okay.
I
Jacob.
thought it was
Okay.
Jacob's past where he was like this dorky guy that like couldn't approach women, and it was like that's what he was referencing. Like he reminded him of himself, like he went through a breakup or something. But I'm
Yeah.
like, he's kind of way too young for like that kind of life experience, at least what it would appeared.
Mhm.
But it's that point in the movie where he's talking about his dad and how he's like, he was too nice of a guy. He was a nice guy, and my mom like kind of like my mom was like kind of just too much for him, and like that was
Yeah.
when you're like, okay, that's what he was talking about. He was talking about his dad, so that was the payoff there. I actually just realized that watching it this most recent time. And I've seen this movie dozens of times, so
Yeah.
that's cool to still find little tidbits like that.
It
But
is. I will say one thing that I didn't remember that it's a tiny, tiny scene, but Cal and Jacob finally like reconcile at least a little bit, and Cal slaps Jacob, and Hannah says, "Ooh, this is gonna be fun," and
yeah,
immediately I was like, "There's something in Hannah." I don't. It might just be Emma Stone being Emma Stone, but I was like, she's got a different side to her, and I like it, and I don't know what's going on right now.
yeah, she's kind of embraces it. Like obviously that whole dynamic is going to be weird, and honestly could have gotten to just a sequel. Like there's probably a story. I just to see this family again. You know what I mean? Come
Yeah.
back together for a sequel. I don't know that it would ever have happened. It did. It did well. Like the movie did well, and I think it was one of those things that just kind of like over time it grew on people even more. But initially, the reviews were pretty good, and it's still right now on Rotten Tomatoes. It's still certified fresh. Like obviously it's a really good film. I don't know that something ever gets revisited, especially 10 years down the road. Like
Yeah.
to follow up. Like I'm just thinking like
Not
most
in this
rom-coms
genre.
would have,
Yeah.
but this one was a little more nuanced. You know what I mean? Like it did a good job of telling the story and getting out. How did you like the end, real quick, before we get into the draft? The end of the film where they're just talking and you kind of can see that they're gonna get like they're probably gonna get back together, but you don't see that payoff. They don't kiss. There's no kiss payoff.
I like it was real. It
Right.
wasn't overly movified where they kiss and everything's great. Like that is how it would really happen. It's like a slow, like you see the spark light and you just see the embers burning. You don't see
Right.
the whole flame, but you see
And
like
it's
the
still kind of
beginnings.
weird, obviously, knowing everything that's happened. So you're like, they're
Yeah.
not their first instinct isn't going to be like, let's make out and then fade to black. Like
Yeah.
that is a very tasteful way to end it.
Mm.
I did watch the deleted scenes from this, and a lot of
I
it was like
didn't.
filler, where like you really didn't need a lot of the stuff. There was
Mm.
a bigger part of the scene where Jacobs is initially trying to approach Hannah and
Hmm.
her friend at the time. And he does that whole thing where he's like, do you need me to drive? Do you have your keys? Do you need me to drive? And he does that whole thing.
Yeah.
There's a little bit after that, because that was one little jump scene where I thought, like, when he's doing that, you want me to drive? And she's already across the room. The next, like, literally they cut and she's on the other side of the room. And I was like, all right, that's something a little weird. There was more that they cut where they were like, she was like, they go into like, does that really, you do that? Does that work? Like, they do that whole back and forth. And
Yeah.
then the friend comes on even harder and is like, oh God, it would work on me. It's just do it. I'll do it. And she's like, I'll blow your mind tonight. Like, I was just like, she's literally laying it on like crazy thick. Like,
I'm glad it's a deleted scene. I
it didn't
need to
need to
see
be
that.
there.
Yeah, it didn't,
Yeah.
but I need to see that though.
I'll send you the link of the deleted scenes because there's a couple ones, especially the reference where he's backing the U-Haul out of the driveway.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you need me to do it? That's the whole thing. There's a payoff to that in in the deleted scenes
Oh.
where he hits something and you're like, okay. Because when he's backing up, you kind of expect it after that conversation. You're like kind of expecting that little thing where it's like, he's going to mess this up. He
Yeah.
doesn't in the feature release, but in the deleted scenes, he does hit something, which is funny. But no, I mention all this because at the very end of that deleted scene thing, it's like 12 minutes of deleted scenes. There's an alternate ending. And I didn't even know it existed.
I
But
don't
they
know.
fade to black on something else, and actually, they could have gone either way. Like obviously, I love this film just as it is, and it works. It could have. I don't know how this would have struck you differently. And again, I'm gonna do a poor job of explaining it. But you know how their house has that big open window, like the doors that come open. It's all open glass. Like it's one of those. You saw it at night as well. Whenever Cal's just traipsing around the backyard doing his gardening and all that weird stuff.
Yeah.
But it's that wide, and you see Cal and Emily in there, and they start trying to do the dirty dancing
yes.
thing. Yeah, they
Yeah.
start trying to do the dirty dancing thing, and they're just like having fun, right? They're just like they're messing up, and they try to do it a couple times, and they're laughing, and then it just slowly, while they're doing that, it's slowly zooming out, and then it fades to black. So they're just like having fun. There's a little, you can see that there's a little life back in their relationship. I thought that was like a cool, like it could have worked either way. And I'm okay with it.
I like that in the idea that in that second ending you get to see old Cal with the new Cal. Like you see what Cal has become by merging his two lives.
Yeah.
So I do like that, but I also like how it ended originally too.
It's fine. Yeah, it's a fine ending. I think everybody's okay. I guess that's it then. Right now I'm looking at Julianne Moore's photo, and now I have to say that scene where like we mentioned the backyard and he's in the backyard. When his phone rings, she goes and takes the phone and she's faking a scenario just to talk to him. That actually, like, I was feeling something, dude. I was like, that was tough. I was like, damn, like they did that so well, like just acting wise, like just you could tell in their voice that there's sadness, and they're like, oh, this is, and he's happy, but he's like trying to confess. You know what I mean? Like he's the fact that he sees that. It's weird. He's just back there, but I get it. It's his house. He still misses his plants.
It was really well done that he didn't like out himself, and she didn't like, she just went along with it. She was like, yeah, I pulled it down. Oh yeah, it started. And then she didn't try for more and he didn't try for more. Like they were just
happy that they were talking. Like that's it. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it was heavy, and there was definitely a lot of gravity to that. But that conversation happens, and he's at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's still something to her, but to him, he's like, okay, I'll help you out. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's still happy to talk to her, but like the fact that he was there to see it, that's cool that they did that. Like that was important.
That was good storytelling. Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to find this button real quick so we can get
Wait,
into the
before you
draft.
hit it, this
Okay, go
is
for it.
one of the few Julianne Moore movies where she does not lose her children.
Wow, is that a thing? That's a thing that happens?
Oh, she there's like 3 movies where she loses her kid.
Jesus, I don't love that. I wouldn't love this movie if that was a thing. I don't want to see that.
My wife and I have a joke that she's like the worst on-screen parent of all time.
Jeez.
We'll
have to have a I'm curious. Yeah, I want to know a little more about that. We'll talk later about that. But let's get into the draft. This is your Valentine's Day special, so you get the first pick. And like I said, this isn't a sci-fi movie, all right? This isn't we're not talking about like banging props. These are real life props, and it's really just, I'm curious to see where you go first overall pick in this one. So let's just get into it.
Do people still say that, banging props?
Yes, they do. I'm saying it's banging. These pops aren't banging. All right, let's go. You will be selecting first. If this is your first time listening, thank you for making it this far into an episode. And secondly, what we do now at this point in the draft, this point in the podcast, we draft props that we can see in the film. We watch the film, we break it down, we like to review it and give our takes on everything that happened. But we're also making note of iconic props that are in this film that we would like to have like in our possession. You know what I mean? We have a collection. This is it. Like I said, there's nothing iconic. Like if you grab something from this film and put it on a shelf, no one's walking into your house and saying, "Oh, that's stupid love." That's the thing. But it's okay. We still want to break it down in the right way. That's the whole point of the podcast, and we're going to get into it right now. So you're going to lead us off, and I'm just curious where you go. We're only doing 3 picks in this one, and we're not extending it. We do it sometimes in other episodes. We'll be like, I got a long list. Not here. Not here.
So in this movie, there were a handful of things that had a lot of screen time. However, there's one thing that was just the focal point of my favorite part of this entire movie, and it's actually useful in real life. So I'm going to take the mini golf putt windmill set.
Ooh,
made by Cal as a sign of love for Emily.
This is pre the neighbor guy ripping it off and throwing it and breaking it. Okay,
still functional.
Functional windmill and putt putt. That's a good one. At the end, I was like, oh yeah, that's in here. That's a good one. Like that was one I felt pretty good writing down, and it's a pretty good first pick. That's because obviously first pick in the draft, first date that they went on. You know what I mean? There's a little something there. All right, I see what you're doing. Now I have to do something, and geez, I don't love these. I don't love them. I'm already sighing. I haven't even picked. That's I think, and I wish it got more screen time.
Oh my goodness, on pick 1?
I think this is hard, man. These are tough picks. Like there's not a lot of like iconic stuff, but I think because it had a few moments and I was like, all right, that's good. That's fun. I got to take Cal's Velcro wallet just because it's funny.
No, that's a good one. That is funny. It didn't get a direct shot, but it was definitely in
the bonus scenes there's a little more on that, but it's not a crazy lot, but it's like they talk about it a little bit more. But I'm gonna take his Velcro wallet because I just don't, honestly, like if you take anything off this list, okay, like I'm not upset. Like I'm just gonna get my guys, I'm gonna draft them, and that's fine. If whatever's there, that's it. But I'm okay with the Velcro wallet.
So for me, pick number 3, number 2 for me. This is something that, like the Velcro wallet, didn't get direct shots, but was in more. The second time you watch this movie, it's in more of the movie than you realize. I want Jacob's ring.
Ring.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you first meet Jacob, like he talks with his hands a lot in this movie, and that's why it brought like he uses his hands a lot to convey ideas, to talk. And you notice when he's talking to Hannah the first time, he has a big ring on it. Later on, he's talking to Cal, and then you actually get to see it's like a silver ring with like a black stone in it. And then at the
Like an
end,
Emma Stone? No. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know if that was a thing or not. I think we were all thinking it when you said Stone. It's everybody initial thought is Emma, right? Am I right, everybody? Right. Please write in to our address and send us a letter. Continue. Emma Stone.
in the backyard scene, he actually takes the ring off before he goes and punches David in the face. Like he takes it off.
That's
and
respectful.
I think he hands it over to Hannah too, and then he goes. And I was like, all right, they kind of actually. He could have just punched him in the face, but he actually took the time. Like I'm sure that wasn't written down. That was Ryan Gosling being an actor and being like, all right, I'm gonna take my ring off and go and punch this man in the face.
Yeah.
And it's just a little like I love those little details. That's like how you could tell an actor is good, is like he makes those thoughts that his character would do. Like Jacob is not punching a man in the face with his jewelry on.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to sully the jewelry. I mean, that's expensive stuff. That's part of the shtick there. So that all right. No, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. I will say that was not on my list though. You were looking closer than I was though. That's what that means. That doesn't mean I didn't. I didn't neglect it. I just forgot. I didn't even see it. Like wasn't on my radar. I should have paid more attention. But because you picked something from Jacob, now I feel obligated to as well.
That's fine.
There was a lot. And this is mainly because I don't know. I have to look up his measurements. Obviously, he's a little more jacked than I am, but I think height-wise, we might be pretty similar. I'm gonna take Jacob's gray suit
Not the
from
blue?
when they. No, the gray one. I want the one where they.
Yeah.
Is it when he first meets Cal at the club? I thought it was like a gray, like
No,
silver
I'm not
suit.
saying you're wrong. I'm saying at one point I think he wears a blue suit.
Oh, he does. He has a blue blazer on, and I'm like, that's pretty nice. But no, I just love that like silver gray, like it's just good. Like and he's got the shoes, like all that. I want that like outfit. Like it's
he had like 7 outfits.
It's nice, but I want that first one. I got to have a suit. You know what I mean? It's just and I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm gonna have to Google and get his measurements, but he's definitely more muscular in this movie than I have ever been in my entire life. But I don't care if it's a little baggy. I'll wear it. That's fine.
If I could have the costume department make all of his suits and even like one of Steve Carell's suits down to my size and my frame, that would be on point because there was a lot of good outfits in this movie.
They should have gave away to promote the film a shopping trip with Ryan Gosling. You know what I mean? Where he does all that. He slaps you in the face, says your shoes suck, throws them over. You know what I mean? Like it's just all that, the whole thing.
That would be great.
All right, last pick. This is it. This is serious stuff.
I mean, I feel like I already won the draft, so at this point,
I mean, you can feel like that.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad that you feel like that. I don't know what that sentence means, but yeah, go.
I'm going to take... This also didn't have a lot of screen time. I just think it would be a little... Do I even like it anymore?
Oh, you just fell out of love with it like that?
Yeah, it just happened, after 25 years.
Oh my goodness. That's messed up.
I don't think I love either.
Do you know there's websites that just give you celebrities' height and weight? Interesting.
No, but that's a little...
I mean, I know. I figure height usually, but like the fact that I'm getting weight and body measurements.
I was gonna say you're getting chest size.
I'm getting legit chest 44, waist 34, biceps 16.
For Ryan Gosling, he's a 34.
That's Gosling. He's 6 foot tall, 168 pounds. It says.
I don't know how I feel about having a waist nearly the same as Ryan Gosling and almost weighing as much as him. At a foot shorter than him.
I don't know. Yeah. That feels pretty slight.
I need to go work out.
I don't know, man. I'm 2 inches taller than him, so now I thought for whatever reason the suit would fit, and now it's not going to. So, okay. Go ahead.
I think I'm going to go with Hannah's banana cake.
What a beautiful rhyme. By the way, the cake? Wait, you're going... I just realized you picked a cake. That's not like somebody's bowel movement right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's gone. No?
No, they didn't touch that. She walked out on it.
So it's probably... So you're saying it wasn't a real cake? You don't think they got a real cake?
It was the graduation cake. There's no way that was a real cake. It was in one piece when they had a close-up on it.
Okay, so it's probably was just like a
Yeah,
prop cake
prop cake.
that's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
real. Okay, sure. Yeah,
yeah.
you can have the cake. That's what
I'm
happened with the
gonna eat
cake
it
though. That
too. That's why I fell. That's why I fell out. You know what? Scrap the cake. I can't.
good because I
You're
didn't
right.
write it yet, and I was giving you an out. I was like,
Yeah,
the pen was going slow, and I was like,
yeah.
"You sure we're doing this?"
All right. So if we're doing that, then I'm taking Robbie's cell phone.
Nice. You know me. I love a good cell phone.
I'm taking Robbie's cell phone then.
Okay, that's good. He does a lot of texting on there, a lot of harassing his
A
babysitter on there.
lot of harassing. Robbie was one step away from having a restraining order put on him.
Can you get a restraining order put on you at 13?
Can't you at any age? I would definitely. I mean, I would have put a restraining order on him.
Yeah, she was very patient with this guy.
She was incredibly patient. Like that was next
Weirdly
level.
patient. Also, at the very end of the movie, even weirder.
Yeah, that is something you don't trust a kid his age with something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but also, just everybody's a minor. Weird.
I mean, okay, that kind of stuff happened in my school, so like minor to
Okay, yeah,
minor.
okay,
That's the
listen, I
one
guess
thing.
you're right. In high
Yeah,
school, you're like, everyone's just kind of doing whatever. It's weird. It's a
yeah,
weird coming of age type thing.
yes.
But
But you don't
yeah,
trust that a 13-year-old is not sharing that with all of his friends.
I don't know, man. He loves her, you
Yes, he
know?
does, but kids are kids.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I should have said that before I made my last pick because I didn't want to give anybody the illusion I was gonna pick those photos. It's not happening. That's weird. So here's what I'm gonna do. I already took his wallet. I took Cal's wallet. I got Jacob's gray suit. A lot of clothing. Damn, this is tough. This one's selfish. Strictly selfish for me. And I think I will benefit from it. Maybe more than Jacob did in this movie.
I knew it was gonna.
Because Jacob, I got to
Yes,
tell you, he may have only used this thing twice.
$5,000.
I'm taking his massage chair.
I almost grabbed that.
The disrespect to leave it in the garage, bro. He didn't even he doesn't even have a place for it
I
in
should have
his
taken
house.
that solely for the purpose that Emma Stone sat in it.
I guess, yeah, but I mean, I want to sit in it. Like, I want a massage chair. I want to do the podcast with an extremely loud massage chair. I think it'd be great for the audio.
She hated it.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever sat like in a Brookstone and gone and like sat down in one of those things?
No.
They're like, they can be very abusive.
Okay.
Like there's no, like I've never had a actual like real life masseuse massage me. But like, I doubt they're that aggressive. Like, the chair doesn't know your back isn't shaped this way, so it's like you're getting impaled. So
You need to have a massage done.
I do,
They're very wonderful.
I do. Maybe we should record our next episode face down on a massage table,
Is the camera facing up?
facing up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So both of our faces, like
It's just
through
our
the
faces
hole?
with the little thing. Yeah,
We
and we're
should,
trying to talk,
yeah.
and we're like, yeah. So today I thought it would be a really good. Yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah. I think we
Okay.
should do that. That's a thing. We'll do that. Let's mark it on the calendar for sometime in the next 35 years. We'll get that done. I didn't want to put. I didn't want to do
35
it.
years.
I didn't want to say this year because that's an expectation. You know what I mean? Like that's 35 years. I feel like we can get this done. You know what I mean? You want to lower it or lower the years? Let's see. What do you got?
I mean, that's a mortgage. You just literally
it's
like I'm gonna
30-year
be
fixed rate mortgage.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
done paying off my house by the time we get this massage.
And then you'll finally have enough money for the massage. What do you mean? I'm trying to help you out.
You're right. 35 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Mark it
All
down.
right. That's fair. All right. I have to actually write this down. What did I write? What did I order? Jacob's. What did I order? What did I order? I'm not even saying it like it was a prop from the film. I'm pretending that I actually just ordered myself a massage chair.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. What else did you have on your list?
I had the broken Emily and Cal photo that
That was the first thing I wrote down. First thing I
yes,
wrote down. Yeah.
first thing.
That was it was between that and this chair for my last pick.
Okay.
Probably should have taken the photo for just significance to the movie. But
No,
I just wanted a massage chair, dude.
The chair's fine. The I love you Jessica Riley sign that that Robbie made when he did the whole Scarlet Letter thing, which also is kind of funny because Emma Stone had a whole Scarlet Letter thing in Easy A, and I just thought that was
Was that a callback? They did that on purpose?
I think Easy A was that before. I think
had to
that
be
was before
2011.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was pretty young in that one.
Yeah. So I just thought that was kind of cool that was the whole thing. But yeah, he had that big sign that just says "I
Yeah.
love you." Hannah's banana cake. We already talked about that. That just had a brief scene in the Mexican restaurant. I also had the massage chair, and then the flowers that Robbie stole that David gave his mom
Oh,
that he stole to give to Jessica with his crossed out David and wrote his name on it.
those things are wilted, bro. They're dead. They're gone. They're
Okay.
part of the earth. I'm sorry. They're dead.
And the envelope that Jessica was going to give Cal her photos in without the photos.
So the
Sam's
envelope,
photos.
yeah, I was like, if I was gonna do it, it'd be the envelope. But yeah,
Yes.
I didn't put that. But I did have the picture frame. Cal's 407 New Balance.
I
shoes, bro.
forgot to put the. I want to
Those-
ask. Those look like those can't be the same ones from 40-Year-Old Virgin, are they?
They look like it. When he's
They
wearing
look
those,
like
you're
it,
like,
yes.
that's 40-year-old virgin. And God, that yellow shirt really did suck. Like I didn't need Jacob to tell me that thing sucked. That yellow shirt that he was wearing, that collared yellowed shirt, was gross. Disgusting. I didn't put that on my list though. I probably should have put that shirt on my list. But the last thing I put on because I was struggling and I really wanted to add one more thing just in case. The elementary school podium, I guess.
I see. I was thinking
Put
of
it
that
there?
because it had the school crest on it.
Yeah, and that's cool. But that, like you said, why are we doing that at an 8th grade graduation? That was very strange. But okay, to wrap it up real quick, I'll run down yours. You picked in the first round the windmill putt-putt course. Pretty sweet. You have Jacob's ring and you have Robbie's cell phone. I have Cal's Velcro wallet, Jacob's gray suit, and I guess you could say it's Jacob's massage chair, but I'm going to be honest. I'm not storing this as like a movie relic. It's going to go in my living room. It's just going to be my massage chair. So I got me a massage chair. That's where we're at.
Okay.
And that's it. I think that's it. We're done here. We can tap dance on out of here and let these people get back to their Valentine's Day festivities.
So I just realized, just a tidbit. There were very few. The filmmakers offered an iPad on set to whoever came up with the title of the movie.
And this is it. This is what they got. Crazy Stupid Love.
Which Steve Carell hates. He hates the name of that movie.
It's
Or
not a
hates the
great
title.
name, honestly. It does kind of feel like
It flows for me just because it's been there for so long. But it
right.
does-
That's the thing is like when you're coming up with the name, you hate everything. Like even if you like, it's really hard to find the thing when it's your job to come up with the name. But when you release it, everyone's like, "Oh, Crazy Stupid Love, that's a movie," and then no one questions it. But yeah, I see where there would be some struggle there to be like, "That's I don't love that." Like, what could it have been though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you were tasked to rename this movie, Love Hurts. That's a movie already, I think. Love Actually. That's a movie.
That's a movie. Yeah.
Actually
it's
Love.
impossible. It's impossible.
Actually Love? No, I don't know. It works, like you said. We'll just call it CSL. Crazy Stupid Love. No.
CSL.
How about see you guys later? We're done here.
Okay. See you guys later.
See
Love
you, bye.
Yeah.
No, see, that feels a little abrupt. But we should just, how about this? Let's just talk, you and I, like the end of this film. Let's just talk. We'll just be hanging out. And then I'm just going to slowly fade the music out or fade us down. Like we're going to fade to black.
Yes. Yeah, so we're going to still talk, but the
Yeah.
music is going.
The music's
on,
just going to come up and like we're going to fade down and like we're just having a good time.
and we're
like,
just laughing and we're
oh
jovial
my
and
goodness,
stuff.
dude, whatever
Yeah.
you're doing right now, stop it. You're
But
just,
I love when things do
that's
that.
crazy.
It's funny because it's like, wait, but what are they saying
Wait.
when it ends? I want to know
Go.
what they're saying.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
It's already over. It's gone.
Okay,
Oh, wait.
cool.
Love you.
Oh, love you guys.
Wait,
Yeah.
love you. Wait, we had to come back and say love you. All right, bye.
the curtains
It's
like
over.
close, but then immediately come back.